Hey everyone, it's Tracy with the 10 Pound Club and the question of the week. And so this week I had a couple of really good conversations with people. One, we had our group phone conference this week, and a couple of things came up. And then I spoke individually with a few people, exchanged some emails, and one question came up a couple times, and this is a really commonplace question that I get a lot, is how do I get rid of that bloated feeling or water retention? And there are a couple of things that you can do when it comes to feeling bloated or maybe feeling a little bit puffy. First of all, I have to say that if you're experiencing a sudden onset of water retention that's abnormal and it is pooling, for instance, through your ankles or through your hands, and it's excessive, you need to see a doctor about that because there could be a medical concern that you do need to have addressed. Now, if it's related to something that you would chalk up to an unhealthy diet, maybe a night out where you had too much maybe too much bad stuff to eat or drink, there are some things you can do. So first, let's talk about your diet. What can you do with your diet? One of the things that you can do is increase the amount of potassium-rich foods that you have in your diet. The first thing that comes to mind would be to increase the amount of tomatoes, tomato pastes that you have in your diet. Tomatoes are a really good source of potassium. Salmon's a really good source of potassium. Kiwis, bananas are a really good source of potassium. Any type of bean is also going to be a good source of potassium. So when it comes to potassium-rich foods, they're out there. There are plenty of them. You need to eat more of them because what we're doing is balancing our sodium with our potassium. And so on the flip side of that, we have to look at the amount of sodium that we're taking in. If this balance of sodium and potassium is off, you're always going to retain fluid. That's always going to be a byproduct of eating too much sodium to potassium. And so look at your foods that you're eating. If they're mostly processed or if they have a shelf life that is longer than a week, there's a good chance that they have sodium in them, and plenty of it, because sodium preserves food. So turn over whatever it is that you're eating, take a look at the amount of sodium that is within the food that you're eating, and if it's excessive, cut back on it, because it's something that could really be hindering your diet and your means to eating healthy. Now, if you want kind of a quick way to get rid of some fluid that has just been kind of creeping up for a day or so, and you attribute it to maybe a really heavy dinner that you had the night before, or maybe one too many glasses of wine, there are a few things that you can do. So a few things that I always keep in my house are organic lemon juice. Personally, I like this brand. Santa Cruz is really good, and no, Santa Cruz is not paying me for this, but this is a brand that I like. Any organic lemon juice will do. If you've been listening to these videos or reading my posts, you know that I always prefer organic. So lemon juice is a really good one because it does help to push fluid through your body. It acts as a natural diuretic, so that's naturally going to help eliminate fluids. It's awesome to have. Take a tablespoon or two every morning in a glass of warm or room temperature water. Never cold, because that's going to constrict your colon, but something that's warm or room temperature will always be really helpful. Second, Dandelion Root Tea. There it is. Traditional Medicinals makes a really good brand of roasted dandelion root tea here, and there are some other brands that are on the market that are really good as well. Dandelion root tea is good because it kind of stirs up the bile that's in your body, but it also helps to eliminate fluids. So that's another great go-to. And my last one that I'm going to recommend today is my friend cilantro. I love cilantro because it does act as a diuretic, but it also gets rid of heavy metals that are in the body. And if you live in an urban environment, you're definitely exposed to plenty of those. It's in the air we breathe, it's in the water we drink, and you get loads of it. So we naturally accumulate some amount of heavy metals. Cilantro is a great way to get rid of it. You could also try parsley. Parsley is also really good at eliminating fluids. So there are a few things you can do within your diet. Of course, drink plenty of water. That's always going to help with fluid retention. As counterintuitive as it might seem, it actually works. So increase your fluids, watch the amount of sodium to potassium that you take in, and consider adding in some lemon juice, dandelion root tea, cilantro, or parsley. So those should give you a good start. Let me know if you have any questions. I can be reached at tracy@tracydmitchell.com. Thanks very much.